Hello guys, this is Shar. Welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for returning. Now this is a quick recap of Love and Marriage Huntsville. No, I'm sorry, Love and Marriage Detroit. It's just Huntsville just rolls off the tongue. But no, this is Detroit. Season 2, episode 3, or is it 4? One or the other. It's either 3 or 4. But the episode starts off with Anthony and Christina going to have a sit down. Anthony had ran this by Brandon. He didn't see anything wrong with it. He also ran it by his wife. And so they meet up. And the purpose of the meetup was basically like a check-in, like just to see how she's doing and how things are going. He really wanted to know blow for blow why they are not living in the same house. But Brandon told him don't mention that to anybody. And I'm surprised he was able to keep that under his hat. But he really wanted to know blow for blow what happened, but she didn't give that to him. And rightfully so, Christina is a little skeptical and apprehensive about Anthony's concern. Is it genuine, or does he just want to be nosy? And, basically, Anthony just wants to be nosy. He just wants to know the tea in their marriage, basically. And for me, the jury was still out for me about Anthony with what I'm getting ready to say. It was still out, meaning I wasn't sure. But after seeing this episode, I'm definitely sure that Anthony is most definitely the 5th wife of the show. He is the 5th bitch of the show. Literally, like he is. He's a shit starter. He's a pot stirrer. He brings the tea. He carries the bone. I mean, he does it all. He talks the shit. He got the back, swift tongue, all of that. He's the 5th bitch, basically, of the show. He's the Peter Thomas, just like Peter Thomas was another wife on Housewives of Atlanta back when him and Nene and all them was on there. And he's also like Marceau of Love and Marriage Huntsville. He is just another wife on the damn show. Seriously. But so they sit down and they have the talk or whatever. They go back and forth. And Christina's just like, oh, you are really the perpetuator of a lot of the mess. And so now you want to try to mend things and bring things together, so to speak. And he was like, something wrong with that? You have a problem with that? Well, kind of. I mean, because you didn't have to perpetuate a lot of the BS, my dude, but you did, So, basically, he wants to try to make amends, the couples in general, particularly him and his wife, and Brandon and Christina. I guess him and Brandon have mended their issues, even though Anthony invited, or told, rather, I should say, Anthony told Brandon to come by and holler at him after his Million Man March meeting took place. So when Brandon was walking in, the meeting was dissipating. and Brandon peeped that, like, oh, I wasn't a part of the meeting. Like, you don't want me to be a part. And no, he doesn't. You know what I mean? So Anthony is just all kinds of shady, for real, as it relates to Brandon. He doesn't play Russell and the other guy like that. So it's a respect level there that Anthony clearly does not have for Brandon for whatever reasons why. Now, that's that. They have the talk. He eventually asks Christina to, let's do this double date, which is that whatever that is. I forgot what it's called, where they're in the little bubble and they try to knock each other down. So after that, and she agrees to go. And so after that, Christina goes over to her mother-in-law's house, brings some things that Brandon has left with her, and a pot or something that was left over for Thanksgiving. She sits down with the mother-in-law and, basically just chats about what's going on with the state of her and Brandon currently in their marriage. And, she basically says that Brandon has checked out. Like, he checked out years ago. He's never really there. Like, early in the morning, she sees him, and she's pretty much going to sleep without really seeing him because he's not in the house yet. and he doesn't really help around the house, which is really familiar to the mom because that's how the dad was. And she said that the dad had the nerve to say, if you can make the housework fun, I'll do it. What? Like, who says that? Wow, that's deep. He said, make the housework fun and I'll do it. But she did him something better. She got rid of his ass. She divorced him because he was too lazy. Now, I want to play this little clip. I hope to God that this video is not long. But I just want you guys to hear her voice, the mom, and what she was saying. Let's listen.
He comes in after I go to bed. He's here in the morning.
That's how much I used to see him too.
Yeah.
Are you two getting along pretty good? What?
But Brandon just doesn't talk very much. But he's always been that. That's him.
I don't know how to handle your child. I've tried for 12 years. And I just feel like you know him better, like, emotionally. Like, I kind of figure, like, some things just stem from childhood because that's what he says.
Yeah, I think he's making too much of that, okay? Now, I know he had some problems with his dad. His dad never did anything.
Like, as far as what?
The only thing he did was mow the grass.
So he had no responsibilities around the house?
He said I didn't make it fun.
What fun?
Work.
Well,
if I made it fun, maybe he'd do it.
So, yeah, you guys heard, like I said, his own father didn't really do much around the house. She couldn't make it fun for him. So, I mean, he sounds like an idiot, and that probably was a good thing that she got a divorce, because what do you mean, make it fun? Housework is not fun, fool. But anyway, the mom says that Brandon doesn't talk much, and it clearly he gets that from her, because his mom clearly doesn't talk much. She doesn't say much. She kind of just listens a lot, which that has some great qualities as well. But the woman is coming over there to get kind of like pull feedback from you to see what's the underlying issues here. Like, what do I need to know about Brandon and why he is the way that he is? You know what I mean? So she was just trying to chalk it up to, like, he just doesn't talk. I mean, he's always been that way, but why? You know what I'm saying? And the man has said to his wife that, it stems a lot of it from his childhood. And then the mom had the nerve to say, well, and that's pretty much an understatement. She didn't say the word understatement, but she was like, he's going to town with that a little bit too much. That's kind of like not what it is. Oh, but it is what it is, Mom. That is it. Like, he has some issues or some things from his past that causes him drama and causes him to move the way that he moves, even though it kind of hurts the people around him, such as his wife, maybe ultimately the kids. Who knows? The way that he is and the way that he acts, you know what I'm saying? The dynamic of the family, it may even affect his kids. Who knows? You know what I mean? So the fact that she's playing that down is just telling as to some of the issues that Brandon may have or whatever. But it's clear that communication is neither one of their strong suits, which explains partially a lot. But so moving on through that conversation, the mom ultimately tells Christina, like, girl, in other words, you need to do you. You know what I mean? You need to get yourself together as far as finances or whatever, so you can not potentially, move on. She basically told her you should move on. Like, do you. Like, do whatever you want to do. Follow your dreams. Don't even worry about Brandon. You know what I'm saying? Going forward. I mean, that's how I took it or whatever. She didn't say those words exactly. I'm paraphrasing quite a bit, but that's basically what she meant. Do you, boo. Don't even worry about Brandon. Get your money up, get your weight up, and get out of there, basically. And I never forget, I was dating a guy a long time ago, and I never forget his grandmother told me girl, don't look back. Like, leave him alone and don't look back. And I adhere to that. Because I'm like, if his grandmother is saying don't look back, then she know better than me. And I didn't. I left him alone. I didn't look back. So that's telling. She's got kids with him. They're married. So obviously it's quite more difficult for her to just leave him alone and not look back. But yeah, I don't know. She might want to consider it though, because if his mama saying don't look back, you know what I mean? But hey, if she wants to fight for her marriage or whatever, that's great. But Brandon does seem like he has to do a lot of work on himself, like introspection. None of us are perfect and nothing like that. I'm not a life coach or a relationship coach. I'm not trying to act like I know so much. I'm just saying, being an adult and being in a relationship and having a man and all this stuff, you kind of learn that relationships are hard. And when people have issues outside of just the marriage stuff, it makes the relationship even harder. No matter if you got the piece of paper license, marriage license or not. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. So basically, his mom left her with that. Like, girl, do you get yourself together and move on with your life and do what you want to do. So, I mean, that was food for thought for her, I would imagine. And later on, I'm trying to think what happened after that. I think the next scene was when Russell came over to do like the little biblical counseling, biblical marriage relationship counseling with the two of them, Brandon and Christina. Russell pulls up. Brandon isn't there yet. It's clear because I'm apparently thinking that he doesn't see Brandon's car, so he knows he's not there. So he calls Brandon and say, "Hey, I'm sitting in the driveway. I'll wait for you here till you get here." Boom. Christina sees Russell in the driveway. She already know what time it is, right? She already knows that they have an appointment to sit down and talk with Russell. And so she comes outside, you know what I mean? Now, this is where I want my viewers and subscribers and whoever's listening, if they choose to comment, to tell me what you think. Because, Christina and Colby has already had an issue with each other. We already know about the whole thing with the influencer stuff, right? So one of them times Christina and Colby had a sit down, Colby told her to stop calling my husband. Like, you can't call me back to talk about this issue or misunderstanding or, whatever drama that's going on as it relates to, this whole influencer thing and us being asked to do something together with this other company. You can't call me back to get all that stuff straight. Why are you calling my husband, to talk about that stuff with my husband, and you can't even call me? So I am most definitely understanding of Colby. Like, that's completely foul and not aligned. Like, how dare you reach over me and call my husband and talk about the shit, but can't talk about it with me? Girl, that is a most definite way to get fucked up. Okay? Seriously. Like, women don't play about their men. And for you to go over that girl's head and call her man and talk to him about it is like, says a lot. She's completely disregarded her and disrespected her by calling her husband and talking about it and not calling me. And she knows I'm sitting here waiting on her to call. You know what I mean? So we could talk about it. But yeah, so that was a trip. So here's the thing I'm asking you guys, drop down the comments on. So when you see Russell pulling up, do you, knowing that you've had this kind of conversation with his wife, which is your friend, which you guys are going through something right now, do you go out there and, meet him in the park, not the parking lot, but meet him in the driveway and chop it up with him until your husband gets there? Or do you just know that he's in the driveway and kind of just wait till your husband gets there and, continue to bounce around the house or continue prepping, getting ready for the little meeting or what? Now, I say, my opinion, not even my opinion, this is me for real. Same scenario, I would just probably see that he's out there because I hear a car pull up. probably see that he's out there, and I'll just wait in the house. Like, know he's out there, but probably finish tidying up my house, like where we going to be sitting at, maybe finishing getting myself together, my makeup, my hair, or whatever, waiting until my husband get there, and then them two can walk in together. Because I know my boyfriend, like the current boyfriend that I have, and previous boyfriends, the guy, I don't know what it is, type of guys that I've had and date and have currently, they have the mentality of, what you doing out here? Like, what, when they drive up, what you doing out here? You should be in the house. You know what I mean? I know the boyfriend I have now. He would definitely say it. Matter of fact, he would have been like, what the fuck are you doing out here? You know what I mean? So, yeah. I felt like she should have just waited till her husband pulled up and then, let them two come in together. Because clearly, Russell had those same sentiments because he said, and then also it was cold outside too. So he's like, you can go back in. So in so many words, you can go back in, and I'm gonna just wait for Brandon out here, and basically, right? So he also thought that way. So, and if she was gonna do it, like you was gonna stand out there and just wait for him and wait for your husband the whole time out there talking to him, opposed to just going out there and saying, oh, okay, well, you're out here. All right, well, I'll see you in a minute. Da, da, da. You know what I mean? Like, she was going to stand out there and wait for her husband to pull up the whole time. It could have been 20 minutes, 30 minutes. Who knows? Maybe even longer. But yeah, so I thought that was interesting. I don't know. I just would have just kind of waited in the house until my husband got there. But you guys tell me what you think. I do talk back. So anyways, Brandon eventually gets there. They have the meeting. They start the meeting. And I pray this video is not long, but it's just a lot of things I wanted to recap. So they have the discussion. They're in the middle of the discussion. And fast forward, Russell just asks her, like, what do you want from Brandon, or something to that. So I'm paraphrasing. I can't remember exactly what these people are saying. I do good with remembering the scenes and the order of the scenes. So, Christina says, I wanted him to have the fruit of the Spirit. It's like, girl, what? I understand that she's trying to be or acting like she's just so rooted in the word, okay? That's wonderful. But you guys are having problems, like serious problems. You have said out of your own mouth that this man always bringing up, soon as y'all have an argument, this mofo always bringing up divorce. Like, he's constantly saying, well, look, we might need to get a divorce. You know what I mean? We might need to end this or whatever. It's like, girl, say what you mean. Tell him what you need from him. Like, seriously. Okay, that's cute and biblical and all this and that. Fruit of the Spirit is harmony and peace and love. Okay, but girl, you need to say, I need you to be here every night by 1. I need you to help out with the housework, preferably the dishes. I hate the dishes. That's something you could take over. That'll be great. If you can help me picking up the kids from school out of 5 days, if you could give me at least 2 days out of the week, maybe even 3, but most definitely at least 2 of the days. You know what I mean? On Fridays, I don't really want to cook. Can you bring home food on Friday nights? Serious shit, like real stuff. Like, say what you mean. Hopefully in real life, outside of the cameras, she's really saying that type of stuff. Because, all that fruit of the Spirit shit. I mean, girl, even God says when you were praying, be specific. Tell him what you need. Even though he knows what you need, but he wants you to tell him. So all this arbitrary little biblical stuff, I need him to have the fruit of the Spirit. It's like, girl, that might be where y'all at. Because he don't know what you need. You know what I mean? All he knows is that you trying to get him to shape up to this or that, or what you feel like you need him to be, but he don't know what you need him to be because you ain't never telling him shit. You telling him shit like he needs to have the fruit of the Spirit. You know what I mean? Like, tell your man that and see how he look at you. Real talk. So, yeah. I just thought that, I was just like, gag me with a spoon. I put my finger in my mouth when I heard her say that. Like, you taking this whole I'm a Christian woman thing to another level. It's almost fake. I don't don't know. Like I told y'all in my other video, Christina the jury is still out for me. Seriously. Like, cause I can't figure her out yet. I don't know if she fake. It's seeming fake though. Real talk. It just does. Her whole attitude is just like, and then it just blew. It was just over the top for me with that fruit of the spirit shit. But anyway, by Russell being a, practicing minister or whatever, going to school for it or whatever, and clearly having a calling for it, because I feel it's big of him to still want to help them get back where they need to be in their marriage after Brandon said what he said about his wife. I mean, it wasn't like he called her out of her name, something real bad or nothing, but the whole Kobe cat thing hurt Kobe's feelings, basically. You know what I mean? And he saw his wife was upset about it. And he told Brandon, like, if I wasn't a man of the cloth, I would have broke every bone in your body, for real. So the fact that he can do that and actually feels bad about their relationship deteriorating a little bit and want to help them get back to a better place says a lot about him. And he really probably does have a calling, you know what I mean? So that's great. But anyway, so yeah, they follow it up and, they say a few more things or whatever. To me, by the way, Brandon looks, he kind of always just kind of looks at her talk. Almost like he don't never know what the fuck she's talking about. And when she says things like, I need him to have the fruit of the spirit, that's probably why. You know what I mean? Let me know is it just me? Or do you guys agree with that? And it's okay to not agree with me. I don't care, So, after that, fast forward, I'm trying to speed up. What happens next? Anthony, the fifth wife, and Latoya, they go to dinner. It was pretty boring. He basically tells her what went on between Christina and him talking. And this, like I said, this is why I say he's the fifth wife, because he completely flipped the script. He just turned, like he was acting like he was such the doting friend and concern, and then flipped and was like, you know what Christina did anyway? She ain't did nothing in the city. What has she done? She ain't popping. We been knowing Kim and Kim popping. It was like, Anthony is a mess. I'm telling you, the fifth wife. That is my nickname for him. So if I don't say Anthony, I say the fifth wife. That's who I'm talking about. He just is a mess for real. And he is unapologetic about the messiness. And his wife, she seems really uppity and bougie and snotty. And she was like, I don't have to do that. I don't have to bring anyone to the table. Blah, blah, blah. She's so boring. But yeah, Anthony is a hot mess. But Latoya's not owning up to doing anything wrong. I didn't know they knew each other. I didn't know they had problems. I genuinely invited her and I wanted her to come. Blah, blah, blah. So after that, moving on from that, they have the little thing where they all meet up. I can't think of the name of that little game or the sport place where they went. But they all was trying to bump each other. Anthony had already said he's knocking everybody down. Latoya's like, he's always thinking about games and playing games and this and that, but yet she's competitive and like, you can't beat me. It's like, which one are you into it, or are you competitive and like to get into these little games? Which one is it, Latoya? But anyway, so they do that. They look like they have fun trying to knock each other down. Anthony knocks Brandon down off of his ball or whatever. And Brandon's shoes, one of his shoes coming off. Brandon is like, oh, well, it seems like he was, what did he say? I can't even remember what he said. It's just like, Brandon, do you have any oomph about yourself? Like, my goodness, everything is just so passive. And the women, they literally try to knock each other down too, for real, but they couldn't really do it. They couldn't really knock each other down, I don't think. Or did Christina actually knock Latoya down one time? Maybe. If you remember, put it in the comments. But Anthony did knock Brandon down. But Yeah, so that was basically the episode. That was really the all things I really wanted to touch on. But yeah, this season seems to be a lot better than last season. They didn't really show that other couple. Oh, I forgot about the episode, not the episode, but I forgot about the scene where Latoya invited Colby and Kimberly to Pilates class. Colby was getting some instruction from Latoya on some little exercises or whatever. And Latoya gave her a short little story about how she was a little somber and a little sad, a little bit not really depressed, I don't think she said, but just a little somber and sad during her pregnancy, which it really spilled off to her kid, because one of her kids came out always acting a little somber and sad and timid and things like that, and she really seriously thinks it's due to how she was when she carried him, like her mindset. And Colby really took adhered to that and was like, okay, you know what, I'm gonna start boosting my attitude or whatever, because I don't really want that from a child or whatever. And that's true. That is what Latoya told her is really, really true, because it really did happen to me. I was a little somber and sad, and I wouldn't say depressed, but I had a lot of anxiety about, like, oh, how is it going to be for me to be a mom and this and that. So it came out as being sad a lot, and I don't know, maybe even depressed, I guess, because the anxiety was just overwhelming me. So I was just always kind of sad a little bit. And my son, he's growing out of it now, but early on he was the same way. He was like sad a lot. Temperamental was kind of like on the sad side or timid side or whatever. And it was really because of me, I believe, because I was like that. So I feel like that's true. So that was good advice to her. And it was great that Colby received it, and she's going to perk up from then on out. Which she's had the kid already; they had a girl. We already talked about that. So hopefully, their baby, as she's growing up, is not like sad and somber and timid and things like that. But that was pretty much the episode. Oh my God, I didn't want this video to be very long, but please, you guys, drop down in the comments. Tell me what you think about the things that I touched on, or you can bring up your own points of the episode that I may have missed in this episode. I just didn't want it to be very, very long. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, hit your notifications, and until next time, guys, bye.